Hello everyone, it's Dove again. So welcome back to my garage, and as you can see, it's looking quite different than it was in the last video. Well, not the last video, but my last update video. And this took a whole day's work. It was literally like 7 to 8 hours worth of work, but there was a lot of dirt and a lot of spider webs and spider eggs and everything, and I had to figure out a way to rearrange it because the hose didn't end up being long enough to have it sitting on the table when the table was sitting this way. And so I had to move the table up against the wall. So I had a gray bin that was sitting there. I took that out. It just had some leather in it, which I actually I put in one of these drawers over here. I had already emptied these, and so I just put the leather in one, and then I actually had a little bit of a roll of Reflectix left, and so I put that in another one, but otherwise those are still empty. So I had a couple things behind the tables. Those two tables were sitting here, and the stuff behind it that was up against the wall, that was just old stuff and storage stuff, and so I just had to go through it all and get rid of some of it, rebox some of it, but it was just hundreds and hundreds of spider eggs and spider webs behind everything back here, and behind those little shelving or drawer things. So yeah, I took that out. I moved the bookshelf down there, and I got all these out, all my bins that have all my files in it. I brought all those out and, just totally cleaned and everything back there. And then I stacked those under there and put the tables on top of them. They just barely fit, but it looks pretty good. I mean, it's going to be kind of cold over here in the winter because it's on the outside wall, but hopefully it won't be too bad. And I actually, look how much floor space I have. I'm just amazed at how much space I cleared up just by moving that stuff to the outer wall. I don't know why I didn't do it earlier. Well, mostly because I had these tables set up to go with the sewing machine, which that's my sewing machine. This is a table it sits in, and it's up there in the cabinet. It's one of those things where you fold it out and pop it up. Well, that was actually sitting turned around, and that chair was over there on that side. And so I just flipped it around, and now this chair can be used either for sewing, or I can bring it over here and use it here at my workstation. And then I just, sorry, I'm out of breath. For right now, these are the bins that go out in my rig, but most of them have work materials in them, so I'm just having them here on this table here. And then I butted the sewing machine table up to this table. And back here is still my storage and everything. That box is actually what came out of a rather big bin. So that's all my high school stuff and stuff like that. And that's my toilet area, doing the nomadic thing early. So that's my little bathroom area, and I do have to have a thing of water out here. But then I put my power stations over here, except for one of them, which is still on that shelf over there. And then my bins, instead of having them there, I just moved them over here. And so that's my leather working bin, and then these two have materials, and these are the shot glasses. And so I got it all set up. That took a full day, so I didn't actually have time to set up the machine. But then I got the machine set up, I got the software installed on my computer. I initially was having problems because the emergency stop was pushed in, and I didn't realize it. So before you start it up, you have to make sure that the emergency stop isn't engaged. But this is the hose. This is how I had to do it to get it to work, because this is a 2.5 inch and I was going into a 3-inch pipe. So we got two fittings and stuck them together, and then that is being taped to the pipe because we didn't want to ruin this pipe or anything, or the fitting, because I took this off, to get that on there, and we didn't want to ruin this by putting duct tape on it, so we just got this fitting and duct tape that to, because that was like $5 for the whole thing. But it's working okay, except for the engraver. Its exhaust is not powerful enough to open those louvers, which I was actually afraid of that. So I had to go out and take these off. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just get the dryer vent that I was originally gonna get, because there was no louvers like that. It was a different design, and I won't have to worry about that, because right now it's not protected. You know, it's got the screen on it on the outside, but if it were to rain or anything, you know, I'd be in trouble. And it's not a perfect fit, so I don't know, I may put some duct tape around here too. But other than that, it's working. I don't really like not being able to have daylight, but it's gonna have to be the way it is. And so, yeah, I just got her fired up, and I did a very basic design. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see that very well, but that is the name of the business that I picked many years ago, Wingtip Creations. And then I just did one of the metal business cards that they sent, and it looks pretty good, I have to say. I mean, it's just a rough first start, but I just imported a illustration of a dove, and then I reversed the you have to reverse the image when you're printing on black, and so I did that, and then I cropped out part of it, and then I added that, and then I added custom engraving, and then I told it that it was a black metal business card, and that's how it came out. It took 1 minute and 37 seconds, so that wasn't too bad at all. I'm pretty impressed. I mean, the illustration wasn't that great, so it's not like the most perfect thing, but that's not the machine's fault. It's because that's kind of choppy and weird. If you can kind of see the outline of that, I might try a different design. But then I thought I would show you guys what it looks like in real time. And normally you'd have to close the shield, you know, because that's what protects your eyes. But since I'm going to leave the shield up to show you guys, I'm going to have to wear my glasses. I bought a pair of these, and it works for both of the lasers that are in there. I had to, you know, look for special ones with a specific range. And it went to sleep, of course. When it goes to sleep, it blinks white slowly. So it's been long enough that it went to sleep. So it's got a little framing process that you go through, and then you do the actual processing. But I changed it from black to purple, and so it changes the parameters based on what you tell it the material is, because it's pretty smart, and they've got all the settings down pretty well. And so you don't really have to think about it too much, thankfully. And what I don't like is this little jig here for the business cards. It's actually, I can't set it there in the right up against the thing. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but there is a very small gap. I don't want to touch it because I do have it in frame right now, but if I were to move it and butt it up against that jig, it wouldn't be in frame anymore. So I'm not sure how useful this jig is going to be. I mean, I have it straight up against the back, but the minute I push it over, it's out of frame, and so I don't know. I'm just going to have to mess with it a little bit. Maybe it's just, you know, operator error. I'm getting hot, so I'm gonna have to take my sweater off. Okay, so I'm gonna wake it up and tell it to do the framing. And when you're framing, I can't wear these glasses because then I can't see I can't see the lines when I've got those glasses on, but you can see that it's framing it and it's showing me the area where it's going to engrave. And so you have to stop the framing, and then now you would normally put the shield down. Now is when you would do that. And so this is going to take about 1.5 minutes, but I wanted to show you real time. So I'm going to hit the process button, and it's preparing for preview. And then you just hit the start button. Sorry, it's loud. And then you hit the start button on the machine once. It's a pretty neat process. But it's not too loud, I don't think. Probably speed it up. Like I said, I just went with the general settings, the ones that they pick, because they usually have figured out the best settings for each type of material, but I think I probably could change the speed, but the results may or may not be very good. This one's taking a little bit longer. It's already been 1 minute and 35 seconds and it's not done, so I guess it's probably because the difference between the black and the purple. And I even took a picture, so I have proof that it only took 1 minute and 37 seconds for that black metal business card. So what you're hearing is the exhaust. So the exhaust is the loudest part. Okay, now it's done. But that took, I'll take my glasses off. Yeah, that took 2 minutes and 9 seconds. And again, I'm not sure why it took longer for the purple one, but it did. It's very shiny. I mean, that's not my official logo or anything. I just literally whipped it together in about 5 minutes. So I don't know. I think I like the black one better. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think I definitely like the black one better. But I'll keep messing with it and stuff. But those were just my first 2 projects to come out of it, and I wanted to show you that and also give you a tour of my grand space here. I'm floored at how much space I have. And I've got my ball here, so if I don't want to sit on that chair, I can just roll this over and sit on that while I'm working on the stuff over there. So now I'm going to go through and start playing with all the different materials, because they sent all these, so I'm definitely going to try each one out. And then I'm going to try to engrave on a couple of the shot glasses too, and maybe some of this scratch art paper. Alright, you guys, so I hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you again in another video. And at some point I'm going to be setting up like an Etsy shop or something, and so I'll make a video about that, and I'll leave links to it so that you guys can go and visit my shop if you want anything custom engraved or whatever. So I don't know how long that'll take for me to get set up, but that is in the works. So I will talk to you again later. Bye.